Those of you who've been reading MMO Fallout for a while may recall that back in 2013 to 2014, I had a very short-lived series of articles called How Free Can You Be? The purpose of this editorial column was to look at MMOs with the goal of clearly and succinctly explaining their monetization models, what people could pay for, what they had to pay for, and other concepts. I stand by that it was a good idea, but the timing couldn't have been worse. It didn't quite help that at the time I was pumping out new, quickly abandoned column ideas every few days. Also, the landscape was changing so much that I'd figure out a format and either a game I'd already finished would change its business model or some new idea would get introduced into the ecosystem. I think it's stable enough now to bring back. So for the first How Free for me, I wanted to go over what else? RuneScape. A game that I have personally been playing since 2004 and one that I can probably most confidently work on first. RuneScape is a free-to-play game on mobile and PC that I would honestly describe as more of a freemium title. You can play free-to-play, but 60% or more of the game's content is locked off unless you're a member. The first question is, can you legitimately pay for gold? And I stress legitimately because this is about the company's business model. If we included gold farmers, the answer for almost every game would be yes. And yes, you can buy gold. RuneScape sells bonds at about $7 a pop, and those can be sold in-game to other players for real money. The price of bonds in-game fluctuates quite heavily, but in recent weeks they've been as high as 55 million gold. This leads us to the second question. Can you pay for levels? And the answer to that is kind of. Certain MMOs will let you buy character boosts that instantly put you up to a certain level. Those don't exist in RuneScape. A lot of skills in RuneScape are considered buyable, since they level up simply by processing materials that you can buy from other players. Now, you still have to grind out the levels, which is why I say it's kind of possible. The alternative is using bonds to buy treasure hunter keys and using experience lamps to get to the level cap, but this method would be so disgustingly expensive and slow that it isn't really a factor that I would consider. The third question is, can you buy gear? And the answer to that is yes, since you can buy gold and use that gold on the Grand Exchange to buy high-end equipment, potions, and pretty much anything else that you would need. You still have to level your combat skills. Next question, can you pay for advantage? And the answer is, well, yes. If you charge your card and get money to buy the best equipment, you'll have an advantage over other players. Now, PvP in RuneScape, as well as high-level bossing, is a heavily strategy-focused endeavor, so you might not get that far on gear alone, but it does give an advantage if you ever die and need to pay to get your equipment back. Next question, is it self-sustaining? By this I mean, can a player get by without spending any money? And technically, the answer to that is yes. Free players who have ridiculous money-making techniques or really save can buy bonds and use those to buy membership. Bonds can also be redeemed for cash shop currency, rune coins, old Premier Club auras, and other stuff. Since making money is a lot easier for members, one could get membership with a bond and then maintain it with members' money making content. Next question, what's in the cash shop? The RuneScape cash shop is called Solomon's General Store, and it's a little complicated to explain, so I'll try to keep this simple. The cash shop section itself includes emotes, animations, cosmetics, titles, and some other non-game changing stuff. The pets sold in the cash shop do offer small benefits that are mostly useless to mid to high level players, like dropping a few dozen coins or finding low level herbs from time to time. A lot of the items in the cash shop can be bought with rune coins or loyalty points. Loyalty points are given to members that can be used to buy auras. Auras are an in-game item that offers small benefits like 5% better chance to catch fish, with each aura having a small use time and a longer cooldown. An aura might be good for 30 minutes and then have a 3-hour cooldown, for example. Loot boxes are in RuneScape, and they can give everything from resources to experience dumps and occasionally rare cosmetics to sell to other players. The game also runs battle passes from time to time that are free for Premier members, can be bought with bonds, and offer boosted experience and cosmetics as rewards. The cost of legendary pets isn't fantastic, as they generally run in the area of $30. 50-slot bank boosters can be bought for roughly $11 a piece. However, the game does give 170 slots for free players and 670 slots for members. There are also regular free promotions for bank boosters on the cash shop. There are multitudes of other ways to store items around the game to save space. The cosmetics aren't terrible. Most of them are less than $10. Next question, are the unlocks account-wide? Yes, but only because RuneScape will only allow for one character per account. Next question, is there a subscription and what are the benefits? The subscription in RuneScape is the game. RuneScape is like World of Warcraft in that you can theoretically play a fair amount of the game without being a paid member, but the bulk of the game and its content are locked off to non-members entirely. Free-to-play RuneScape is and always has been more of an extended trial. Now, one point that I have to bring up with RuneScape specifically is Jagex's love of cash shop promotions. There are always promotions running around the game's loot boxes, of which players receive a non-stacking daily free key. Regular seasonal events run in the game comprising of players heavily grinding resources with the option to pay for event currencies with real money, the event itself being heavily elongated in order to push players toward the cash shop. Ultimately, RuneScape is a free-to-play game that requires you to become a member to make any headway in it, but allows crafty players to buy that membership as well as cosmetic currency, loot box keys, and more without laying down a real dime. The game is constantly reminding you of the existence of its loot boxes every time you log in, and Jagex has regularly had bouts of predatory monetization systems. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and let me know which game you'd like covered next in the list below. Or if there was any sort of mechanic you think I missed that should be brought up when talking about a game's monetization system. I'm working on my own list of games, but I will take requests. Once again, I am Connor. This is MMO Fallout. Check me out at mmofallout.com as well as on Twitter at MMO Fallout.